Welcome back to the third video in our mini series. And the fact that you are still here watching tells me that you have probably, or at least hopefully, gotten some value out of the first couple of videos in the series. So allow me to continue to serve up a steaming hot plate of value for your eyes to feast upon. I just gave you a close-up of my hand, and I hope that was all good. I hope you didn't get scared off or anything. All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about the number one way to attract leads, which essentially means get people wanting to buy your stuff, and clients, I guess. Clients, leads, whatever the heck you want to call them. But basically, leads are a step before clients. They've reached out to you, they've put their hand up and said, hey, I'm interested, but they haven't yet bought from you, okay? So the number one way to get leads, that's the first column in our 10K per month client engine model, where we walked through, you can use ads, you can still use the traditional methods like social media and word of mouth referrals. That's what we're going to be focusing on in this video. Oh yeah, baby, this is the fun one, because there is a very hot debate, not right now, but forever, not forever, but in the past 5-10 years of online digital marketing, it's been organic marketing versus paid marketing. Now, organic marketing is basically stuff like that you don't have to pay for, like social media, posting on social media, getting clients that way, creating an email list and bringing people into your email list and regularly emailing them, or maybe even creating a website and making it, optimizing it, so doing SEO, optimizing it so it appears in search, Google search listings and things like that. That's all organic marketing. And then on the other side of the debate, we have paid marketing, which is where you pay money, run ads, whether that's digital ads on like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or Snapchat or one of those platforms, or whether that's radio ads or TV ads. It doesn't matter. That's all paid marketing. Now, there are a lot of people who say, fuck paid marketing, you shouldn't need it as a health coach. And then there's a lot of people who say, oh, paid ads are great. Okay? I would challenge you by saying neither one is better than the other. Every big company in the world uses paid ads. Think of your Coca-Colas, your I don't know, Nike, your Adidas. They all spend billions of dollars every year on paid ads. So if paid ads are good enough for them, then they're good enough for little old Jenny over here. Not that your name's Jenny. If you are Jenny and you're watching this, then yeah, I've taken you, I can see you behind your screen. Anyway, for 99.9% of people who aren't called Jenny, you get the point. So they're good enough. If they're good enough for the biggest companies in the world, then paid ads are good enough for you. All right, so what are the pros and the cons of organic marketing? Because you can use it, and I want to tell you who should be using it and when you shouldn't be using it. So the biggest pro for organic marketing is that you can build a lot more trust with your followers over the long run, because they're going to follow you on Instagram or TikTok or any other social media platform, or even, for example, they might be reading your blog every day if you're posting a weekly blog, or reading your emails if they're on your email list. You might send a daily email. So you can build trust with your followers over the long run, which is great, because people who you've built trust with are much, much, much more likely to buy from you in the long run and spend more money with you. Okay? That also means that you're going to have a much easier time closing those people. So if they want to reach out to you for help and you jump on a sales call with them, you're going to have a heck of an easier, whatever the expression is, you're going to have a much easier time selling them, because they already trust you. They already know how many people you've helped and how good you are. So it's much easier to sell them into a high ticket program compared to someone who's never heard of you before and then might have come through an ad 2 days ago or something like that. Okay. Then the third thing is that you build your brand in the long run. So people know who you are. That basically ties in with what you might have heard as clout, where you basically are well known. People, you have maybe 100,000, 500,000, 1 million social media followers, and some people know who you are. You might get stopped every now and then for a photo. People, who's going to complain about that? Like a little bit of clout and brand building. So they're the guys you might have heard of, like Alex Hormozy and Layla Hormozy as well, Tony Robbins. I'm just thinking of people in the business guru space, Grant Cardone. They're all examples of people who have built an amazing online brand for themselves, and they've got a lot of clout. Basically, they're well known. And it means that if they go and do something, it's going to be easier for them to sell a product because they have a big audience, but also their name is enough to get them high-paying speaking gigs and all that kind of stuff. So that's where the clout comes into play. And the best part about it is free. Well, not really free, but in terms of money, you don't have to pay money. It takes a lot of time, so it's not free in terms of time. So it really depends on what you value more, time or money. And if you don't have any money, then all you have is time, then social media, great. Start posting 1,000,000 times a day. Go for your life. The biggest con about social media is that it's very slow to build a brand. Okay, I know people who have been posting every day for years and have 3 or 4 or 5,000 followers. It's not easy. It's a combination of a few factors. The first is luck. Sometimes you just post the best content for years and then one hits and you go viral and then everything becomes easy. So you basically get lucky, but you've put that hard work in to get lucky. The second factor is the consistency and showing up. If you're posting 3 times a week and then just disappear for 3 months and then come back and post 3 times, you're going to struggle to grow on social media. And the third factor, I don't even know why I'm telling you about the factors that go into growing this, but basically luck is a big one, consistency over time, and also being an expert in your field and being someone that people want to listen to. And then the fourth one I would say is being good at actually creating videos. You have to be an entertaining persona. Okay, I don't have social media. I literally don't even have the apps on my phone. I have an account, but I have to go onto my computer or my second phone if I want to access Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or any of the social media apps. I've posted once on Instagram in the past 10 years, just so people go to my profile and they know what I look like. So I'm not really somebody who likes doing that, but that's okay because there are other ways to get clients. And Michaela, my partner, she is on social media every day and she posts on there and she gets clients from there. So great, doesn't matter, but both can work. And it takes a long time to build up your social media profile, which is the biggest con. It's also a lot of constant work to get leads. You basically are like a circus monkey, just, that little monkey clapping its little cymbals. I don't know, I think they're called cymbals, those little thingies, the drum thingies. So you can't just create a social media profile and be like, oh, the leads are going to come to me. You have to be actively posting all the time. And as soon as you stop posting, the leads will stop flowing. And then you have to be consistently posting good content and salesy content a lot of the time, being like, hey, I got this program, join, all the time to get these leads coming through. So the leads are very inconsistent because if you go through a patch of, let's say, a few weeks or a couple of months where your content's not performing super well, then your leads will half or even go down more than that because you just aren't getting as many eyeballs on your page, aren't attracting as many people into your worlds. And one of the biggest cons, in fact, this could be the biggest con, is that Zuck controls you. Mark Zuckerberg, if you're Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp or whatever. But social media basically has these overlords, the owners of the platform, the algorithms, if you will, as well. The algorithms, the owners, whatever, they can ban you on a whim. So you might have built your audience up to 50,000 or 100,000 followers, and then just at the snap of your fingers, your audience has been taken away from you overnight. And then what the fuck happens to your business? I don't know. You got no backup. So that's the biggest con for relying on social media or just social media, is that these people control your audience. You don't own your audience. It's not like you own all the emails on that list or have 1,000 people that, I guess if you're big enough, you'll always be a well-known name. But if you're just a normal person with 10, 20, 50,000 followers that you've built up over a long period of time, it's going to be very hard to get the same level of following if you start your account from scratch. Now, the biggest pro when it comes to paid marketing, once again, that's advertising, is that it's the quickest and easiest method to get clients. All right. It's also the most consistent because if you find a winning ad, then that ad's going to run forever. You can put advertising dollars behind it, not forever, but you can just push that as much for as long as it will work. Whereas if you have a piece of content that you post on your Instagram that does really well, it might do well for a week and then just drop off again, and that's it. But with an ad, you can get a really well high-performing ad that works, and you just keep running it. You just keep running it because you're putting dollars behind it to show it to people. And it's converting, it's bringing you clients. So it's the quickest and easiest method. And I say easiest. I know people think of ads as harder than social media and organic content, but I would say it's much easier than that. I'd rather just follow tried and tested advertising methods and marketing system stuff and get an ad out there that's going to work and bring me clients and do that once or twice a month, than post 30 or 40 or 50 times per month on social media and just hope that something's going to land with people. Okay, and it is almost overlord proof. So when I say overlord proof, I mean like you can't just get banned by the algorithm overlords or the owners like the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world. Not that he's looking at the different accounts and banning you personally, but you get the point. So you're not going to have that happen to your ads. Now, you might get your ads restricted or shut down. You know the beautiful thing about ads? You know what works. You can just create a new advertising account, run that same ad. So when I say almost overload proof, I mean, yes, you can still get your ad banned or your ad account shut down, but you can always create a new ad account and use those proven ads to instantly start getting leads again in your business. And the next thing you can do is reach a broader audience, because when you're running ads, you're paying to get your ad or your video or your photo or whatever it is that you're running as an ad pushed out to more people. So you can get more eyeballs on your content. With organic, you might get 1,000 views a video, you might get 200, you might get 100,000, doesn't matter. It can, if your video goes viral, and it can hit a really broad audience, but when you're paying for your content to get pushed out there, it's just going to hit the broad audience every day without you having to think too much about it. It's going to reach a wider audience. And it also is going to make you look more like a legit business. When you are just an online coach and you don't have any ads running, going through social media, you can get clients, but maybe this is just one of my own biases. But when I see a company running ads, I think, okay, if they're running ads, they must be making money. Or even a business online, I think, okay, if they're running ads, they must be making money. And that's actually not true. A lot of businesses lose a lot of money on ads. But my point is, you look like a more legit business if you have money to spend on ads. Okay? Now, the biggest cons that I've found when it comes to running ads are that they require money. So if you have zero money right now in your account, then it might not be the best strategy for you. You might want to just use the resource that you do have, which is time, and try and do everything you can to post on social media and get a few clients from there before you start running ads. And the second biggest con is that it doesn't work with every kind of business model. Remember I talked about in the first video the traditional business model that health coaches use, where, for example, they might run like one-off coaching sessions for $100 or something, or they might have a low-ticket offer, an ebook or something. If you have that kind of offer, it's very, very hard to make ads work. Okay, if your client acquisition cost, if you're running ads and it costs you $200 to get a client and you're charging $80 for a call, you're going to be losing $120 on that call. Now, if you can get that client to come back again and again and again, you might eventually make your money back from that client and maybe even earn money. But as a small business, how long can you afford to wait? Can you afford to wait 2-3 months to get your money back? If you're a big telecom company, like telecommunications phone company, that's what they do. They know, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000 to get a client because I know that after 17 months, about, let's just say, a year and a half, I can break even, and then everything past that point is profit for me. But you can't do that. You don't have infinite amounts of money. You don't have millions in bank. Well, maybe you do, but most people don't that will be watching this. So that's when it comes, we have to switch tactics and run ads that generate positive cash flow, meaning I'm spending $1,000 on ads today and I'm making $2,000 or $3,000 back that same day from my ads. So that means it's just a system that you can just keep putting money into, because you know that you're going to get that same money back and then some on that day or very soon after. Okay? So it's not going to work with every kind of business model, like, as I said, one-off sessions, low-ticket offers, but it is going to work with a high-ticket program, which is what I have told you to do last video, in video number 2. And the third thing with ads is that they have quite a steep learning curve. When you jump into, for example, Facebook or Meta Ad Manager for the first time, you're probably going to be very overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, a lot of numbers coming from everywhere. You're probably not going to know what you're doing. So it's a steep learning curve. But it doesn't mean it's difficult or hard. Once you've learned how to use that stuff, once you've learned how to advertise on Google or TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, once you've learned that stuff, it's not that difficult. But it is a steep learning curve initially. Okay? So that's the biggest pros and cons of organic versus paid marketing. Now, neither is better than the other. And I have one of my good friends, she is a health coach who has probably around 4 million followers across her different social media platforms. So she's quite huge, bigger than 99.9999% of health coaches will ever be online. And you might think, oh, she's probably only does organic stuff. And she gets hundreds of potential clients or leads every single day from organic side of things. So yeah, it works. And she has a big business, but she also runs paid ads as well. So although she's getting hundreds of people a day from her organic marketing, she also does the paid marketing side of things. So no one is better than the other. Oftentimes you can use both in tandem or together to get the best possible results. But for starting out, if you have a little bit of money in the bank, the quickest and easiest way is going to be to run effective, proven, paid ads. Because when you run effective, proven, paid ads, you will have a predictable system for getting leads. And when I say predictable system, I mean something that's not going to be up one month and down the next month. It's going to be somewhat consistent. You know that if you spend $1 on ads, you'll get $2 back. Okay? Now, how we're going to do that is we're going to run very simple sales funnel online, and very simple online sales funnel. Now, if you're unsure what a sales funnel is, think of basically to get from an initial click to sale. So that I'll give you a few examples. You know, those like VSL or webinar funnels or masterclass funnels, you might see ads for them or people posting them on their social medias. They will say, hey, I'm running this webinar on this topic. It's free, sign up. Oftentimes what they will do is they will run a free webinar and you will give your email and your name to them. But then at the end of the webinar, they might pitch you on a product and working with them. And then they might also email you and send you emails because now they have your email, maybe even your phone number. And another sale, that's an example of one sales funnel, like a webinar funnel. Another example of a sales funnel might be you click an ad on Facebook and then it pops up with a lead form and says, hey, what's your name, email address, and phone number? We'll be in contact with you. That's a very simple sales funnel, but it's a sales funnel where you basically click, enter details, then they call you and they would maybe book you in for a sales call or something. I don't know. But that's just examples of sales funnels. Now, as a health coach, you probably aren't a super tech whizzy marketer person who's done a bunch of sales funnel marketing online stuff before. So I'd recommend keeping things very simple. I'd recommend doing what I like to call a DM funnel, meaning you run some ads on Instagram or Facebook and you send people straight from that ad into your DMs, either on Messenger or Instagram. Let's just stick to Instagram for now. Into your Instagram DMs. So they see an ad, they click it, and they get sent to your Instagram DMs, and they send you a message. And then from there, you have a discussion or a conversation, brief conversation. It doesn't have to be a super long one, just a brief conversation on your thingamajiggy, what do you call it, in your Instagram DMs, and then you book them in for a sales call. And then jump on the phone with them, and that's when you would sell them. Very simple. Ad, DMs, sales call, client. Got it? Simple. And with that, it's going to be like a tap that you can turn on and off whenever you need leads. If you fill up with clients, then turn your tap off. When you start to need a few extra clients, you can turn on just a little bit. But when you need a lot of clients, you can turn the tap on a lot and spend a lot of money on ads. It's going to be predictable. And it's going to give you consistent leads. That's the main thing. Consistency matters in business. Okay. Now, I want to give you an example just to show you that this DM ads do work. We do run multiple sales funnels and different kinds of sales funnels, but here are the ad results from the past 60 days. Before I made these slides a couple of days ago, I pulled our ad results from Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram ads. I pulled our ad results in and just for the past 2 months or almost 2 months, 60 days for the DM funnel. So we spent around $17,000 on ads in the past 60 days. And that might sound like a lot, but just keep in mind, we're not just burning money here, we're earning money back. So we spent about $17,000 on ads, but we generated 1,875 new leads. And when I say leads, in this case, it's messaging conversations started. So I don't know if you can see that, but it says messaging concept and then it cuts off. But that means messaging conversations started within Instagram. So essentially, as I said before, we're running ads to Instagram DMs and then booking them in for a sales call. And then for that sales call, that's the appointment schedule column. So we were booking from the 17K spent, we got 1,875 DM conversations started. And of those conversations, we booked 268 people in for sales calls. Now, I don't have the exact sales numbers that we made from those 268 sales, but we made a lot of sales, as you can imagine. So we might have spent $17,000, but we made many multiples of that back in revenue and even profit from our DM ads. So it works, and it works very well. I've been doing it for many years myself, and I've helped many, I don't know the exact number, many health coaches do the same as well. And it might, or most likely will work for you as well if you do it properly. The key word there being properly, because you can do it wrong and it won't work. So don't just chuck an ad out there and be like, ads don't work. You need to find a system and run that works really well and run ads that are proven to work. And then you will have a consistent money generating machine. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't use social media at all. I know a lot of people go, yeah, I don't need social media at all. But if you're running ads from a ghost profile, meaning no one knows who you are, then you're probably not going to do as well as if you're running ads from a really well-known profile. So for example, my friend has said she has 4 million followers. if you're running an ad from an account with 4 million followers, people are going to trust you more because they might even recognize your brand. But if they click on you, they go, oh, wow, she's legit. She's got 4 million followers. And so that's kind of what we want with our social media. We want to show that we're at least somewhat legit. And this is what I like to call my social media shopfront strategy. So imagine you are walking down the street and you see a shop that's really colorful on the outside. They've got mannequins with lovely dresses, or if you're a man, maybe pants or something, or a shirt in the window, and you go, wow, that business looks legit. They look awesome. And then you go in and shop. That's what we basically want our social media account to be. You don't need to be converting people from your organic social media, but you need to make your business look legit on social media, which basically means you're treating your socials as your business shop front. And I don't want you can if you want, but I've found that it works best. This strategy works best when you're not selling every single day on your social media. That's what your ads are for. Let your ads do the selling. On your social media, just focus on having fun and providing value and showing that you are an expert. People will naturally reach out to you if you're good at what you say. There's nothing worse than an online health coach, or any kind of coach for that matter, who every single day just says, hey, I've got 3 spots left in my program. Join now before they disappear. And then next week it's like, hey, join my program, spots running quick, only $1,500 or whatever. And it's just constantly selling. It's exhausting. And every time that I would see that, not that I'm really on social media too much these days, but when I used to see that, I would just be like, oh, fuck this, and unfollow. Okay? So rather than being that dude who's just constantly selling and all the time on social media, we just have fun with social media, provide value, show that you're an expert, so that when someone comes to your page, they watch some of your videos, they see how good you are, and they want to naturally work with you. So let your ads do the selling, have fun on your social media, and position yourself as an expert. But once again, I mentioned it here, you might want to position yourself as an expert, but that doesn't mean you have to be this boring, mopey, clinical person using long words. You don't have to do that. Let your personality shine through. Have fun and be yourself on social media. And as I said before, with the shopfront, your shopfront has to look legit. So if someone sees an ad, they click on the ad and they go to your profile, they have to be impressed with what they see. So that might also look like having a few followers. And when I say a few followers, I mean probably over 500 followers. And if you have less than 500 followers now, then I would recommend just trying to get more followers on your page. I wouldn't do it in a spammy way where you're paying those companies $10 to get 1,000 followers. They're going to disappear. It's going to ruin your engagement metrics. So I would boost posts. I would post organically. So I'd work on just posting a lot of organic content, and then see what works best, and whatever works best, I'll just boost that. So just pay Instagram or Facebook some money and push that out there to more people. Now, quick little hack, don't use your phone to boost, because especially if you have Apple, because Apple charge, I think it's like 30% or something for everyone, for all money made through their platform. So Instagram just pass that cost onto you as the advertiser. They say, hey, Apple's charging us 30%, so we're going to make our ads 30% more expensive to boost a post on the phone. So if you want to boost a post, go onto Instagram on your computer and then boost through there, and it's going to be 30% cheaper for you. Little hack. I just saved you 30%. Well done. So if you need more followers to look legit, if you have less than 500 followers, then just boost some of your posts and spend like $300 to $1,000 per month. Dedicate that to boosting posts. Now you're not expecting to get money back on that in the short term. You're not expecting to spend $300 and make 10 grand. If you do, great. But basically we're just trying to improve how your shop front looks, that when people come onto your profile, they see that you are legit. And when people land on your profile, they should have clear next steps to work with you. So that might look like having a really dialed in bio that tells people exactly who you are and what you do, and then a link in your bio that tells people exactly what to do. And maybe in your bio, you say, click below to book a free call with me, or strategy call with me, or something like that. Okay, then you're telling people what the next step is. They don't go to your profile and think, okay, what's next? And then they just click off and never hear from you again. So have clear next steps when people visit your profile. Okay? So now we've learned how to use social media and paid ads in combination to maximize success for your business as quickly and effectively as possible. So now we're getting a nice steady stream of leads flowing into your business. But now that we have the leads, how do we convert them into clients? They're coming in, but they're not necessarily paying you money just yet. And that's what I'm going to cover in the next video, how we can actually convert those leads into high-ticket program clients. Adios, amigos, and I'll see you in the next one.